Okay, so I said last time I wouldn't do any more MonoGame, but I think I will do one more, just to illustrate some very, very basic physics. Because once we get onto Unity, it's going to handle a lot of the physics for us. I thought maybe we'll get some of this out of the way before we do. Right, let's make a new project. MonoGame Windows project. It's going to be a version of a very old game called Dam Bursters, which I think was most famous on the Commodore 64. So you drop a bomb from a plane that flies past repeatedly, and you have to make it burst the dam with a bouncing bomb. So the bomb has to bounce on the water. If you hit the dam directly, it won't explode, and if it bounces too many times, it explodes too early. So you have to hit it after bouncing. Okay, so first I'm going to add in the content. Which I've placed in a folder in advance. Oh, hang on, where's it all went? Ah, I forgot to paste it, sorry. Okay, so there's our assets. Let's put them all in. Let's build that just to make sure everything's okay. 4 succeeded, good. Let's close it down. There's our assets ready. And by the way, I should probably mention, can I get this window out? No, I can't yet. Oh, it's because it's not responding. Excellent. If I make this window, this panel a bit bigger, we can see this button here, show all files. So the content builder hides a lot of that from us, but see if you click this button, you can see all the folders in there, including the barrel, the bomber, the dam we're going to try and explode, and the water that the thing bounces off of. So it's all there. You can double check it if you want. Now with MonoGame, you want to look at the game1.cs, and again, just to make it a habit for these videos to take out comments, because that's kind of my job to explain things. I shouldn't rely on other people's comments really. Also, the to-do comments should definitely come out because we're going to do those things. And unload content, we could keep it in simplified, I guess. Okay, and finally draw. Right, so what we're actually going to use here? Well, we've got our graphics device manager, we've got our sprite batch. I usually just like to throw in something to let us keep track of the screen size. I'm going to use 1366 by 768 because I know that's going to work on pretty much every computer in existence that isn't like a million years old. Make a sprite class like we have done before. So every sprite is basically made up of a position and an image, but I'm also going to build in a velocity, which isn't strictly necessary for a thing to be considered a sprite, but sprites, they aren't that much good if they don't move around. So a sprite must have an image to draw and a position in your game world to draw it. I'm going to throw in a velocity so they can move around, and I'm also going to throw in a hitbox function. Helps if you spell it properly though. Oh geez, what am I doing? Rectangly? Is it lasagna? No, rectangle. So the rectangle we're going to make for our hitbox is going to be based on our position X, our position Y, and the width of our box is going to be the same as the width of our image, and the height of our box is the same as the height of our image. And that's not always going to be the case. You know, you might want your hitbox to be smaller. You might want a predefined hitbox. But for now, the box is going to be the exact size of the image, which is usually going to give us false positives, but never mind. I'm sure we'll get away with it for this game. Now we need some sprites. Let's declare some. A plane. A bomb. A dam to burst. And water to bounce off of. In fact, you know what? Let's throw in, I think, think I may make a flame sprite. We'll see how it goes. So that's all the sprites we'll need. We'll need to know how fast the plane's going. We'll make it 7 pixels per frame. How many bounces we need to make. So that's how many bounces it's actually taken, and here's the maximum number of bounces. I'm going to set it to 1 for now, so it needs to bounce once, not to make the game too difficult. Game 1, where we initialize things. Let's initialize the graphics while we're at it. Preferred back buffer width. It's going to be our screen width, and our graphics preferred back buffer height is screen height. Okay, so that's game 1 finished with. And then initialize the game related objects. I'll do it after base initialize, so this would be after the content is loaded. We'll get to that next. But the position of the plane, I'm going to make it off screen to the left and 300 pixels down. The bomb position, I'm going to make it off screen in a different direction so that it has no chance to interact with anything until you actually launch it. But the bomb's velocity is going to be moving downwards. But for now, let's make it 3,0. And our dam, we'll position that. Yeah, I worked out these coordinates earlier, so I think this works reasonably well for this size of screen. Close to the right hand side and near the bottom. The flames are going to be off screen. We don't want to see them at the start of the game, so let's put them off screen as well. And our water has got to cover the bottom part of the screen, so it'll start at 0, so it's all the way across to the left and near the bottom of the screen. So there's the initialized coordinates. Just need to load the content for all of our stuff. So our plane image, we're going to load a texture 2D called, I think it was Bomber. Copy and paste is every programmer's best friend. So that's going to be the black barrel, the dam, the flames, and the water. Oops. I can't remember if I actually put all this in the content, did I? Barrel, bomber, dam, water. I don't have a flames one yet, so I'll comment that out when I put it in. Bomber, sorry, plane. Bomb is going to be a barrel that we drop. The dam, which is called dam. Our flames are going to be called flames. That's the one that's missing though, so I think I'll comment that out. The water image is water. Okay, that's our content being loaded in. Nothing needs to be unloaded. So let's get things drawn on the screen, I guess, next. Sprite batch.begin. This is my typical workflow, by the way. I tend to create things, draw them, and then handle player controls and then all the other stuff. I gather it's not that uncommon to do it that approach. So water image drawn at water position. I could probably make a function inside the actual sprite object to handle this, but let's just do it this way for now. In fact, copy and paste. So water, plane, bomb, flames, and dam. Bomb. By the way, this is a shortcut. Double click to select something. Control C. Double click, paste. Control V. Dam. Of course, the flames haven't actually been loaded, so we can't really draw that. Let's run it. Ah, right. Oh, yeah. Rookie mistake. Did all that, but I forgot to do sprite batch.end. Okay, that water doesn't quite seem in the right place to me. What's our water position? 0.675. Maybe the water's the wrong image. look at that. It's kind of small. Let's get rid of that one. I'll copy in the ones that I made earlier instead. Water, yes, that's a much wider one, isn't it? Oh, and there's the flames as well. Let's pop them in. Oh, no, I linked to the file. That was the wrong thing to do. Look what's happened. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad this happened. You can see what happens when you do the wrong thing. I've said add a link to the file and see what's happened. They've got dot, 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 dot. What that means is go back a folder, back another folder, back another folder, and then into a whole other project to find this water file. That's definitely not what we want to do. So I'm going to delete that. And if I try and add that item again, the reason I did that is because I was just clicking OK without thinking about it. But I didn't notice until it was too late that copy option was blanked out. Now the reason for that, if I open file, open the file location, is that I removed the water from the content, but didn't delete the actual file on disk. It would be nice if the pipeline did that for you. I gather in some versions it may do that, but in this version it doesn't. So I'm going to have to manually delete the water image and then re-add it. Call it session 10, didn't I? There's our properly sized water. Copy that in. Rebuild just to be on the safe side. Okay, all succeeded. Does that look a bit better? Yeah, so there's our water and our dam, which we need to destroy. You don't see the plane or the bomb because they're off screen. I think, did I load in the flames? Yes. Okay, so I no longer need that commented out. So we can actually load the flames image. And we will draw it, but you won't actually see it because it's off screen as well. It'll come on screen if we actually hit the dam. Right, let's get the gameplay in then. So the first thing, I guess, is to get the plane moving. Plane position X is going to change according to plane speed. So the plane speed is going to move from left to right. And if plane position X is greater than screen width, so it goes past the right hand side of the screen, then plane position X is equal to minus 300. We're going to reset it to off the left hand side. That's meant to represent another bombing run. So it circles around and tries again. But the actual input is we're going to get the state of the keyboard and check if the up key is pressed down. A little bit confusing, but it does work. And if you press the up key down, then the Y coordinate is going to change by 3 pixels upwards. But if you press the down key down, then it's going to change by going 3 pixels downwards. Okay, that I think should be enough to get, there we are, yep. And our plane can fly. You can drop we will be able to drop a bomb eventually, but in the meantime, you just kind of keep making strafing runs. Okay, the space key is going to be used to drop a bomb. So if keyboard get state .is key down space key, we press the space key, we're going to try to drop a bomb, but we'll only be able to drop a bomb if the current bomb's position is off the screen. So until a bomb goes off the screen, you can't drop another one. Otherwise, you would keep on resetting it. So when you do drop a bomb, that bomb's position is going to take on the plane's position, but I'm going to add on some coordinates to this. So I'm going to move it 150 along the x-axis and 40 downwards. Remember, I worked out these numbers in advance, but you probably would have to eyeball things like that to get it right. So if the top left corner of the bomb, which is this here, this position, the top left corner of the bomb is going to start from the top left corner of the plane, but move it to the right and downwards a bit. So it's going to look as if it's falling out of the plane. And the bomb's velocity is going to be a new vector, which is going to match the speed of the plane along the x-coordinate, but 0 on the y. So that's mainly so that we reset the bomb speed. because we're going to add gravity onto it. And when you start it, it's not bounced. So bounce is going to reset to 0 and we'll count how many bounces it makes. Is that enough to see the bomb appear? I think it will be. But only one appears because the physics don't actually apply to it yet. And we can't respawn it because it's not off screen. That's the logic there. All right, so let's get the bomb moving. Notice, by the way, don't put it in here. Watch your curly brackets, because if I put it in there, then it would be only doing stuff when you hold down the space key, and as soon as you let go of the space key, it would stop moving. You don't want that, obviously. So outside of that, in other words, it doesn't matter whether you're pressing the space key or not, the Y velocity of the bomb is going to go up by 0.4, or 0.4f, because it's a floating point number. And that is us applying gravity. So that's all gravity is. I mean, you can see this done a lot more complex in some projects. Gravity can be a complex subject if it's approached in more detail. But the basic idea is that gravity is just a constant downward force. So constantly increase the downward motion of the object. Also, I'm going to apply some friction along the vertical axis, not along the horizontal. I think that, although realistic, wouldn't look so much fun. So apply some vertical friction by taking the Y velocity and reducing it slightly. So instead of multiplying by 1, which would be 100%, we're going to multiply by 0.98, which is 98%. So it's going to lose 2% of its speed every frame to wind resistance. Because otherwise the gravity would make it fall very fast, very quickly. Okay, so that's the speed changing, but also the speed has got to increase your position. That's the whole point of a velocity vector, is that you integrate it into the thing's position. So now the bomb should move downwards and sideways. There we go. Doesn't bounce yet. Can't fire another one until that one goes off screen, which should be around about now. Yeah, so essentially 1 per run, which is what I was after. Right, so now we need to keep track of the bounces. So if the bomb's hitbox, remember that's a function that we defined earlier. So if the bomb's hitbox intersects with the water's hitbox, then it's time to bounce. So bounces goes up by 1. And if the number of bounces has exceeded the maximum that we want, then the bomb should disappear. Bomb's Y position, we'll move it way off screen. A little bit ghetto moving things off screen so you don't see it, but I mean it'll work fine for a game like this. We don't need some kind of entity manager for something this simple. But I've missed one thing. The bomb should actually bounce. The simplest thing there is just to take the bomb velocity on the y-axis and reverse it. And you can reverse it by just multiplying by -1. Okay, let's see how that goes. Drop it, bounce, and on the second bounce it disappears. Can't fire another one until it's off screen, and there we go. Okay, and I think the last main bit then is collision with the dam. So if the bomb's hitbox intersects with the dam's hitbox, then first what happens if the number of bounces is 0? If it hasn't bounced yet, then it doesn't blow us up. So we just, again, move the bomb off screen. So you've not blown up the blown up the dam, you failed. But if you do have bounces, then the flames are going to come from the dam's position. Again with an offset, because it wouldn't quite be the right coordinates. If I did it there, I'm going to move it up 80 pixels. Right, so bounce and then miss, that's fine. If you drop it straight onto the dam where bounces equals 0, no dice. But if you make it, missed. But if you make it bounce once and then hit the dam, boom, that's the game. Well, this is the crux of the game. I mean, obviously it's not fully fleshed out with score and what else. But that's some very basic physics, graphics, friction, and collision response with bouncing objects. And I think that'll do for now. I think we'll maybe move on to Unity next. See you then.